and listen to some kind of wordplay, wordsmithery, but for you to think about how you might want to get involved more in the performance side of this in the future. I'm running weekly creative writing workshops on a Wednesday afternoon in A20 upstairs, starting at 3:30. They're an hour long each week, and the idea is that you kind of create work in a safe environment where you can share it with each other, bounce off some ideas, and then eventually when we do the next mouth off, you'll be able to get up on the open mic and have a little go at sharing in front of each other. I know that you'll be a really supportive and warm and welcoming audience. We've got a whole range of performers tonight, ranging from staff to students to visiting performance poets who are professional artists who've come in to take part today. So we're really, really delighted that you can all be here. We've got some kind of multimedia stuff as well to share with you today. The first short video that you're going to see is a piece of writing that I made in conjunction with a colleague of mine here at this college, Julian Hand, who's also a media technician and filmmaker, and he works independently and freelance. And much like many of you, I'm sure, I really struggled with my mental health during the pandemic, and I found it quite cathartic to sort of write about that and moan about it and rant about it. So I contacted Julian and said, do you fancy doing something? And I broke the rules and illegally drove to his house and illegally gave him a hug. Oh my God, don't tell him. And we made this film together. So I'm really delighted to share this with you today. I don't normally break rules or do anything illegal, by the way, just that. Got quieter because the people stayed in, and the world got smaller, and we fenced ourselves in, and for some the silence was just too deafening. Lockdown, shutdown, control, alt, delete, reboot, reconfigure, download incomplete, switch off the router at the back of the wall, close down the window and shut down the call. This video is buffering. Try and click refresh. This video is buffering. No need to get dressed. Hours become days, and the days become weeks of nothing, emptiness and abandoned streets. How do you carry on when it all just stops spinning? In stasis, in static, and no one is winning. No achieving, no desire, no adrenaline to push. When motivation is forgotten and no one's in a rush. The novelty is gone, the excitement no more. Gain a stone and a drinking habit and chances end at the door. When it's shut to the possibility of chance and progress, so just fester in your sloth and embrace all your mess. Give in to the pit, the sinking, the deflation of your mood, of your energy, of your motivation to bake or to clap or to learn a new language. Just watch more telly and eat another sandwich. We explored the kitchen cupboards and we ventured under beds. We took a holiday from others and holidayed in our heads. The dark and desolate landscapes of cabin-fevered walls, the constant ringing and beeping of intermittent Zoom calls. Duvet mountains in pyjama land across the borders of the kitchen. My dancing shoes were locked away, although my soul was itching. There is no expanse of travel, no routes or journeys to make, no sea to dip your toe in, no picnic by a lake. We missed and kissed each other through windows and through screens. We dropped food at people's doorways and watched broken. They couldn't let us in. Let's all name and shame. Let's put them in the stocks. For daring to go out, they are spreading the pox. That man, what a bastard. He went and bought some soil. That's not an essential. So let's watch them all boil. Boil with hatred and anger as we all name and shame. Someone in the park, they are to blame. On Facebook, on Twitter, the vilified are there. Look at them, the bastards, they just don't care. That walk in the park, has it been an hour? That man buying soil, does he need to grow that flower? But maybe he does, because without it, he's just sad. Maybe she needs that park, because inside she was going mad. In a one-bedroom flat, without light or space, with 2 kids who are screaming and no sun upon her face. It's easy to say that we're all in the same boat, but we aren't, and some people are struggling just to stay afloat. She's in a dinghy, it's cramped and capsizing. You're on a luxury yacht, spending time deciding which room in your mansion you can go and relax in. Rest assured, as long as your life isn't too taxing.
Thank you very much. Okay, I am delighted to invite as our first performer at Mouth Off 2021. Our first performer on the open mic is a young lady I've had the pleasure of meeting only recently. She started Level 3, Year 1 Performing Arts. She is incredibly talented. She makes me feel all tingly when she performs on stage. She has got something quite special about her. I would like to introduce you to Roshane. Put your hands together. Come on, Roshane. We're all watching you get things out your bag now. And I thought, after that big announcement as well. Roshane, do you want someone else to go first instead? To be fair, I didn't tell her. She can go first. I won't say that big speech again then, because that'd be a bit embarrassing, wouldn't it? I'll just say that really cool one I told you about before. Are you ready now? Come on, Roshane. Okay, right, sorry. Asya, that's you then. Put your hands together for Asya. Asya is a second-year performing arts student, equally brilliant and talented and lovely, and we're really glad she's here. She's really nervous, she told me, so please be kind and lovely, and I know you'll be great. Yes, go on, Asya.
Hi everyone, my name's Asya and I'm going to be performing a short piece of a podcast that I'm developing at the moment. It's about life and self-love and it's called Multiple Choices, and thank you for coming this evening. Okay. We all have choices. I think a lot of us are carrying weight we were never really meant to carry. The expectations of being liked by the people around us. The way we need a successful career to impress our families, or the obsession of falling in love before it's too late. I've had intrusive thoughts about me not living long enough to experience the things that are scary, but it actually becomes believable until finding a purpose in a hectic world. I think finding purpose in a hectic world was never supposed to be easy. When you realise you're not supposed to carry that weight, it becomes a lot easier. So I feel like 18 years of my life have just been me trying to let go of control. But when you truly learn how to control, then you truly learn how to live. So you should forever seek moments that make your soul feel alive. If you think of it almost like a cut on your body, when you cut yourself and you keep touching it and allow it to be exposed to danger, you slow down the healing process and it becomes worse. But when you allow time for it to grow and heal, you'll find that it gets much better faster. So I think it's the same mentally as well. I need to let go of fear. You need to let go of fear. She needs to feel content, and he needs to feel peace. They have the vision. With the vision, you create a goal, then you create the steps, then you take action. I trust myself. I try to. We all try to. I want to stop being so hard on myself. You should too. I dream about crying tears of happiness equivalently to tears of sadness. So I'll stop suppressing my emotions. I want to start reading affirmations again. I want to be a stronger version of myself, the strongest version of yourself. I'm no one's competition, neither are you. You're your own competition. That's the person I'm trying to better, that's the person you should try to better. I want to trust divine timing and realise how beautiful life is again. Now you're beginning to understand, aren't you? That the world is inside of you, in your perspectives and in your heart. You must be at peace with yourself first to truly enjoy life, and by that I mean to truly enjoy who you are. So I think you should set yourself free, because you do have multiple choices. Yeah.
Roshane, you are now up. Here we go. Come on. Put your hands together for Roshane, please.
Hi, I wrote a poem called Veins. Okay. A network meat, fuse, form, watery channeled communication, aqua veins, a circle of life, commerce, love, society, float, infatuation, on muddy, churned inlets, overexposed to humanity, our exploits, stripy candy costumes entice sugar, crave tourists to taste the city's sweetest wares, where love's promise is sold at a price. London's underground, a multi-snake, weaving textures, colours, shapes. Its pathways are veins, rushing to and fro, linking, nerves ending, vital organs, sacred hearts in the palms of its mental soul. Medical corridors mimic venal format, each cubicle a tiny blood clot hiding drama. Risk, suppress panic. Nurses, doctors towards pins, in the frenzy of duty service long shifts. Sweat drips from their overplayed uncool veins. City airports heave with the throng of tourism. Each department, gate and exit, a blood outlet. Drops from airborne wings as they rise to fruition. Distance climbs. On board, a central corridor acts as a skeleton backbone for all. A bringing of nourishment, safety, scarlet clad. Overly wide, waxy smiles. Veins cast like maze-like patterns across London's aerial views. The M25, a beating pulse, essential pathway. Traffic jams mimic reduced fluency. Motor flows jam stop. Fluid ceases to rotate, creating oxygen, staffed passengers. Cars line up heaving laboured breath. Too long captured in a tin-canned warmth. Social media, the loudest heart thrum. She beckons all focus, mind matter, conscious current thought. This siren winds her Venus electronic circular tightly amidst upheld fingers. Willing hostage, compliant, passively taken. Phone charge leads fibrous veins columns. Connecting, reaching, formatting a virtual Venus world. Elements of the world we need to survive. We all need to survive, not only to withstand their damage, but needing them to sustain our lives. Earth creates fissures, collapsing buildings that swallow us whole, using it to grow our crops, create to concrete to build our homes. Water's tidal waves drown our cities, engulf us with its strength. Fresh water needed to sustain us, supplies food from the ocean's depth. Air erupt mighty vortex. Hurricanes destroying everything in its way. Oxygen all life needs to breathe. Regulates the climate of the day. Fires scorching sun. Radiation burning our skin. Timbers charred to asunder. Provides warmth from the cold. Light at night. Cooking food we muster. Fires associated with getting mad. Ignites road rage in the streets. Arsonist combustion protests. Pulling the trigger of a pistol worsens the issue of unrest. Discharge from an earning job. Getting work up before game. Fires is used in many ways. After these four elements have finished with their bane, only the blaze we can extinguish, letting nature start over again.
From Leighton Sixth Form College, Joey Mitchell, a valued and well-loved and incredibly popular member of staff who I am delighted to say is here today to perform for you. Put your hands together for Joey, please! Where are you going? Oh yeah, you want that, sorry.
Doing a runner.
Sorry, I was like, oh. You brought your sandwich?
It's really lovely to be here. I started this college. I joined 1 year ago to be a youth worker here, and it's been a wonderful year. It's great to be performing, so thanks for listening. as you may or may not know, tomorrow is National Poetry Day, and the theme this year is on choice, which is a word that a lot of us struggle with because, you know, choice, you know, there's a lot of it. And actually trying to pick a poem was hard, but I've started writing something before coming back to college, thinking about how we might be feeling, and I finished it today. So this is called Back to School / College. Yeah, so I know this is a bit awkward, but I'd like to start by asking for your applause. For each staff member and student who walk through these college doors. We've all experienced that night before trepidation, but these days there's an extra stress to test our patience. COVID-19, obviously. Coming with all its complications, applying a hell of pressure on everyone, and that's before examination. And it's hard getting out of bed, isn't it? Let alone getting in on time. And we know that life's a gift, but can't help feel that it's a grind. And this daily turning up was a challenge for students and teachers, for caretakers, caterers, support staff, cleaners. So this, wait for it, this is a toast. This is a toast for all the people. And if you only hear one thing, remember this. Everyone has a story, and everyone's going through something. I want to start by raising a toast to the youth, dealing with a cocktail of complex challenges. They don't need our judgment. They already got so much on their back. Can you see how they manage it? Talk comparison from day dot. It's a lot to live with. Working within a system that often doesn't fit them. Navigating relationships and drama, past trauma and present tensions. The uncertainty of the economy, the future apprehensions. The growing pains, the hormones, the gender, mental, physical, sexual health. All that to contend with, besides schoolwork itself. And I always thought that school should be so much more playground. Rather than dog eat dog, race day at the greyhounds. I want to see less competition, less testing, less tradition defenders, less discrimination, victimization and hidden agendas, and more creativity, more unity, more respect, more empowerment, more life, and more of a connect. And now let me raise a toast to the adults, trying to hold it together. They're not as worried about what to wear, but they're worried about the weather. Some single, some mingle, some with young ones and fragile parents. Some have gone from caring what others thought to becoming full-time carers. And insecurity isn't just a challenge for the young. Many of us older still worry about who we're becoming. And I guess we get better at hiding our fears, often through necessity. But it slips out the cracks, often so passive-aggressively, so remember to have patience with the adults in your life. They know they should know better, but sometimes they're just trying to get by. They often have the right motives, wanting the best for you. And yes, we're older, but not always wiser, and sometimes we don't know what to do. So try and remember that grown-ups need compassion too. They probably won't ask for much. But what they need is gratitude. So thank you for listening, and thanks for being here today. I hope this poem cheers you on as you go about your way. And wherever you're at, you're a champion. So don't lose heart. Keep stepping in and stepping out and taking part. Because when you show up, you grow up. And one day, you'll glow up.
Joey, that was amazing. That was really beautiful. Thank you ever so much. Can we have another big cheer for Joey, please? There's so many kind of well-oiled cliches that you can use when you're kind of bigging someone up, but that touched everyone. You could see that, and you didn't leave one stone unturned, so thank you. Really love that. The piece I'm going to share with you today is a piece that I've recently been working on with some students. I'm working with a cast of 14 students who are going to be turning this into a short film. Very, very short film, like a minute and a half long, and they saw it for the first time today and started reading it. So watch this space for a video that we can watch. Oh God, I've got the wrong page. It's not very organised, is it? Okay, I got it. Solved. Hey. They scream and they rage, they cry out his name, demand justice for the man who led them to turn the page of the story unfinished, of the story untold, another one not allowed to grow old. He was high, he was dealing drugs, he was high as a kite, a criminal thug. He was paying with a forged note, he was asleep at the wheel. He was about to offend, he was about to steal. That must be the reason he was tackled 6-1. That must be the reason to his face was a gun or a truncheon in his back, a taser to his head. That must be the reason he's not home in his bed, but instead on the ground with a knee upon his neck. That must be why he was resisting arrest, because that always justifies a shot to the chest. He had a criminal past and people wonder why. He got shot, he was beaten, he was silenced, they say, whilst held in their custody. Why isn't this going away? Like a problem too big, too complicated to expose, too tangled in a history book we'd rather just close, too complex, too heated, don't talk about race, because it's uncomfortable, it's awkward, please don't study my face as I say that all lives matter. And well, that's just the States, because it isn't here, is it? It's every other place. The darker the berry, the sweeter the news, but on white skin we cry for the obvious bruise. Black bras don't show the dirt, but she vanished on a beach and no one knew. Not worth sharing, because we know what to do. Bring her face on your TV, bring her in your front room, because her life's worth more, we both know it's true. A white story, a white victim, a white tragedy, surely not. But we'll keep clicking the clickbait, and the others will soon be forgot. That's going to be performed by 14 young people who will deliver it much better than me, not as a white middle-class Welsh woman. But I'm really excited for them to bring that to life. The next person I would like to introduce you to is a part of our alumni, an ex-student of ours who we are so, so proud of. Kitch is his stage name. He's also known as Richie, but I know he prefers Kitch. He's now a professional recording artist. He's a rapper. He's been touted by the BBC as one to watch. He's a genuinely lovely bloke and a multi-talented young man. I'm really, really delighted that he's here today to perform for us. Can you please put your hands together for Kitch?
Yes. Can I have the beat a bit louder, please? Haven't got no one of this. There we go. It's good to be back, guys. Listen. Welcome to the comeback, I'm so hungry, where's the lunch at? A young cat like a rock rat, but yeah, accolades, I done that. Me without this hip-hop is New York without no kings. West Coast without no sins. Tell your neighbor we go. Nas the AD told me life's a bitch and then he died. So I'ma grind for mine until my spot is vacant in the sky. All I want is my respect. Done it, you can have your 100 grand I've got. Call me contraband, hope from the promised land. I'm wolf and stone that's born and bred. You mama born in Dayton. I was born inside my kitchen. Told my mumsy I ain't waiting. Impatient so I go for mine. Even got a clothing line. Strangers you don't know the grind. But I've been a social life. I'd rather sit in my room and study the rap legends. That method, better weapons, you don't know I snap letters. I've been spitting 3 years, not a second longer. Imagine 3 more years, I'm only getting stronger.
You can buy your followers,
Uh-huh.
but you can't buy your flowers.
No way.
There's no way skipping those 10,000 hours.
Alright. I took some time out cause I had to redevelop, be progressive, reap the benefits. So now you know it's got a benefit. But love I have for rappers infinite, so I ain't bound to stop it. I'm leaning on these bars like I'm an alcoholic, find my pocket. Cause yo, I take this shit too serious. We live without no fearing, lost delirious. I'ma raise the bar and leave it up, suspended like the stupid pigs. But they really should have been arrested. I still want justice for all my sisters and my brothers. If we all stand up together, then they know that they can't stop us. Put them down one by one, eventually the change will come. If you disagree, then respectively. The only way ahead of me is through a guillotine, the killing spree. But rest in peace to Easy E, they're giving me the keys to be the best MC in the Easy team. Future legend possibly, well obviously, crooked die. But I'm still in kitchens, mopping floors every weekend. Cannot pretend that it doesn't get me weakened. Good enough to get verified ticks up in my DMs. But I'm still not good enough for them to wanna be friends. But the message. Spitting hard for the culture, not for Instagram. Inspiration from Hover, I'm a businessman. I'm on my way up, see if you want to witness that. Go and tell your favourite rapper, Kitch is back. Thank you very much. I'm not sure how much in time I was, because it's hard to hear. I know it's quite loud for you lot, but it's all good, yeah? I was getting scared for a second. Cool. My name is Kitch. I left here like 3 years ago. I think stuff helped me up. 2 years ago. And now I'm back, man. It's a sick place to be back. All my socials are there. So feel free to add it up or do whatever you want to do. That was quite a hard song, so I'm gonna come with a bit more of a mellow, storyish little vibe. So next song, please. Oh yeah, so that last song is out now on all platforms, music video, everything. This song here is called Different, and it's out on Friday. So a little exclusive for you lot. Out on streaming platforms on Friday. Please go stream that. Listen. Born in the ghetto, I was settled till I reached a plan. I'm hitting levels, but the heckles they won't understand. Was never special growing up, I used to eat from cans. Now I'm picking up this music just to hit my fans. Giving me a listen, my diction and lyricism. Addition to my ambition, the way I'm spitting is different. I'm a different class, a different league. Compare me to them dogs, I'm a different breed. Only had pennies in my pocket, stop it. Now my pennies filling up my pocket, profit. Reminiscing when they said I weren't able. I'm not a DJ, but look at how I turn tables. Generational wealth, I'm trying to get a mortgage. Racking up my stack until I can afford it. Pounds a housing boy, but with millionaire dreams. The grind never stops till I'm living what I sleep. That's why rapping's a habit. Could be back with the maggots, staying strapped with a cannon. But I cracked on my cannon, still a clash with a kraken. Better have you some manners. Running rings and running rappers like Saturn. That's my belly flow. When I'm feeling down, I sip the Henny slow. Got a bare friends, but a couple very close. Come round about my clique, that's my metronome, no flick knife. But this guy just missed fights on main road, or this guy just came home. This guy's a fake load. It's just the same old tracksuit, no waistcoat. Fresh clothes were rare, so my new clothes were bare old. You wonder why I started doing these deceiving shit. Thankful cause my friends were helping when I needed it. They either gave me clothes or they helped me rob them. TK Max and Matt and we didn't see the problem. No way, alive at 22, I cannot complain. No shame. Free my brother, look behind the Colgate. Fresh wet air is looking like a brick of cocaine. Flowing cold, no saliva, I'm just spitting snowflakes. But bragging about rapping, changes nothing. It brings me down, but I'm trying to stay above it. I dare you walk a mile inside my brick creps. I wore them every day, you wouldn't make it 6 steps. I learned the hard way, fam, when my past plays back. Seeing dark days and healing heartache, fam. Bumping Bart lays back, made my heart race, man. But me not say that for my March sake. I sacrifice my past so my future's bright. Even when my shift ends, I'm working through the night. Skipping on our lunch breaks from Monday to Sunday. 24/7, only one way. Born in the ghetto, I was settled till I reached a plan. I'm hitting levels, but the heckles they won't understand. Was never special growing up, I used to eat from cans. Now I'm picking up this music just to my fans. Giving me a listen, my diction and lyricism. Addition to my ambition, the way I'm spitting is different. I'm a different class, a different league. Compare me to them dogs, I'm a different breed. Kitch. Thank you very much. As I said, that song is out on Friday, so please do you stream that. Yeah, please do. What's right?
Well, he's just a baller, he's a rapper.
Yes, oh, Joey can't lie. So for those you don't know, yeah, Joey here is an absolute baller, innit? But he can proper bang ball. So then he's here like spitting these bars, I'm like, bruv, so that's hard for you as well, innit? Anyway, I believe I've got time for one more song, yeah? Yeah, one more song. Let's go. This song that I feel like I've been a bit too serious these past 2 songs, isn't it? So this last song is a fairly new song. I haven't really performed it too many times, so it might be a bit, but we'll see what happens. It's a bit like, bit bouncy, bit flowy, bit, yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Let's just play. Let's play this. Vibe me, yeah? I got flows but I'm meant to. I got shows to attend to. All my bros at the venue. I got girls I can vent to, but I'm a little too choosy. Your house or a studio. Girl, I thought that you knew me. Oh, babes, I'm overly focused. I go for the goal. It's so nobody notice. You're totally bogus. Devoted emotion. My flow when it's cold and I'm cold like explosion. You're hoping I'm joking. Oh no, didn't know. Killer, that's kitsch too rude with the flow. Pay me that beat, I'm abusing it, bro. Choosing to bruise it, I'm cruising it though. Guess who's back with a fresh new raps? Keep on the love your test shoe raps. Claim you're spitter, then he best do that. Can't keep up, then he best move back like keep to the sideline. This here is my time. Keep low bye bye, spit like the 5-9. Keep this on my mind. I don't do shit for the timeline. I'm not vocal socials, eh. I show you what I made on Pro Tools, eh. New school, new, but I'm old school, eh. In my novel, eh. Wait a second, no, I'm not, hold on. I'm trying to think positive protons. I've had like 5 magnums. I'm trying to be Monica, so gone. I got flows, but I'm meant to. I got shows to attend to. All my bros at the venue. I got hoes I can vent to, but I'm a little too choosy. Your house or a studio. Girl, I thought that you knew me. There you go, listen. You're bad like Rihanna, princess like Madonna. But I might not ask, so I'm Ray J Blige, please no more drama. I'm not trying to run away, love, but you're moving ludicrous. Watch me share my world card, this is my breakthrough. This is why I play you, mixtape one more. I took a little break, but I'm back now. Sat down background, had it all mapped out. Got a little plan now, still independent, not even a manager. I'm here for my rap crown. Give it to me, please. I move too clean. There's no Louboutins, please. I care for some Air Force One and new blue jeans. That's my swag when I roll out. Straight up bars when I roll out. Kitsch, I don't do gimmicks. I wrote new lyrics too dope, that's no doubt. Back in the day, they picked on me. Now my hobby's an income stream. Mention lyricists think of me. Don't like it, you can lick my. I got flows, but I'm meant to. I got shows to attend to. All my bros at the venue. I got girls I can vent to, but I'm a little too choosy. Your house or a studio. Girl, I thought that you knew me. My name is Kitsch. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Kitsch, please! Make some noise! Oh my God, Kitsch. Your official fan club will be starting here, if I'm feeling the vibe, particularly on that side. There's definitely a lot of particularly female excitement. Oh, there's a lot of that going on. So yeah, thank you, Kitsch. That was amazing. Woo! So we're all feeling excited and pumped up after that. So we're going to go back to poetry now. Ah, shut up, you miserables. Fingers on lips, hands up. I'm joking. Next up, I would like to introduce you. Might not be introducing you. I'm sure a lot of you will. This might be someone you know. It might be even someone who teaches you. Can you please put your hands together for Sam Bergerson, from the English department, who is a poet and a genuinely nice guy. Can we put our hands together properly, please, and be welcoming? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm sorry to disappoint you by bringing some poetry to you. But I've been amazed listening to all of this so far. It's genuinely amazing. It's something that words can do. I love what I've heard, the ideas and the flows as well. It's really great. So I'm going to start with a poem that's a celebration. And it's a celebration of humanity. And where better to celebrate humanity than the city of Birmingham? So this is Saturday afternoon in Birmingham. With its horizon of high-rise evergreys that never sway in the breeze that blows the diesel smoke into the tired throats of the million-fold human folk that formed a huge host that spit and tucked and hiss and kiss teeth and eat chips on plastic seats round the markets of New Street and carry kids and shopping bags and stop for a rest and smoke fags and say, "You left your phone on the table, Babs, someone will have that." And give me an angry cuff on the shoulder, or they work behind the counter at the fish and chips and say, "I can take 3 orders at once and still make more money than these idiots." Sorry for the accent. One of these idiots. By 3 a.m, the staggerers and the swaggerers lurch the luster-lit roads past the shop fronts with their doors closed, and angry barks in the dark replace the daytime hubble-bubble, chitter-chatter, computer game, ringtone, mobile phone chat. Angry mother screams, "Enough of that, watch by the advertising airshipry that hangs over the mass city, eyes that could seduce those who could pay more, and from one of a million stage doors, a couple enters. The woman hugging the arm of her man, looking up into his eyes, sharing a joke while they're smoking our esophagus. Down at the pound shop with a shopping list, just a brief moment in this Midlands metropolis. Alright, I'm going to do one more if that's okay. Even if it's not okay, I'm going to do one more anyway. And this is back when some of you were quite young, and it's about snow. Does anybody here like snow? Yeah, snow is generally quite fun, right? But back when in 2010, when there was a bit of some heavy snowfall, the newspapers went mad about it. The media were going, £1 million is lost every day, and all this kind of stuff, because people weren't going to work and so on. So it turns out that snow is in fact an enemy of capitalism. But this is a little celebration of that time and of things going wrong, and what could happen when things go wrong a little bit. Anyway, it's called a thaw. 2010 came, and with it an inch or so of snow. A nightfall flurry muffled the street sounds and glittered in the streetlight. We came home half drunk and splattered from the snow fight. The next day, engines choked and spluttered. Rubber slipped on the ice and sleet. Commuter trains were cancelled, and we worked a 4-day week. Armed up with snowballs, rascals were king of the castle on the railway bridge facade. I watched the mother and the son make a snowman in the graveyard. We walked across parks without the marks of parked paths. We took the road to avoid the slippery pavements and annoyed the humbled cars. We made strangers laugh when we fell on our arse. A few old people died in badly heated flats, and I felt a bit bad, but old people tend to do that. But all around and elsewhere, it was business as usual. A bank that the public owned declined to declare its bonuses to the public. Immigrants were taken into privatised incarceration, locked up and sent back home on the same damn plane they came on, back to that dark nation where gangs of 18-year-old British boys were given new hunting equipment to seek out the minds of ambitious mafia and the hearts of harmless citizens. The boys in fluoro pressed their boot prints to the pavement. We read of adverse weather conditions and the sales of flu medicines. And now, as always, the thaw comes and order is restored. But as we watch the water float on parks and swell down drains, let's hope something of the playfulness and misfunction still remains.
Thanks, Sam. That was brilliant. Big more round of applause for Sam, please. Amazing. Thank you. So we have a slight change of tempo now. We're going to show you. I'm going to just hand you over to Julian because he'll explain it better than me. Julian, do you want to come on down and explain? This is something visual. Put your hands together, please, for Julian Hand.
Hey guys, how are we doing tonight? All right? Okay, so yeah, this is a video poem. It stems from a series of walks I took about 15 years ago all around the city with my camera, and I went out to shoot neon signs. I went out there to collect neon signs on celluloid, and from those neon signs I decided to write a poem about the city called Neon Rendezvous London. This piece exists as a film. It also exists as a spoken word piece, but I'm checking it out tonight. So yeah, with no further ado, here is Neon Rendezvous London.
Ah, London. Rant, rant, rant. Okay, rest, rest, rest. And rant, rant, rant. Bent cuckoo wordplay, strobing news and pleasure daily. Global freedom, please order here. All-weather Spankorama t-shirts, cocktail clothing, karaoke lingerie, a purple Piccadilly martini at an international art teas pharmacy, health club tobacco, warning, famous cult eats kinky Mambo Churchill. I see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Booze circus, mix grill, sin store, windmill. Open, 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 open is the vintage neon organ. Neon London, just a trashy, dirty devil of a world. The thirst for a rainbow sunset medication girl. Up all night, he is the cutting capital claw. Till a rendezvous that time winds for a bedtime more. Only his reckless caprice for the night eats away his day. Here downstairs in the dominion of gentlemen's discount dream girls, women grind a trap for the live bait comedy man. Neon vultures, dirty queens of the night, kicking candy pleasure, Tommy guns and all that jazz. Sad young stars cast a bizarre downward profile. New hot shots, welcome amusements, fried chickens for the cut, cash for the rent book rut, or the piercing frozen boulevard strip, the signature rip, strictly going down and out. Nails break fast, the silver street is hard to sign. A fortune phoenix in a bottle of wine. In pubs we rage, of bars we stage, essential warlike encounter, the old traditional order, a classic social care for you prescription, the Monday to Friday blowout mission. Hardy cocks, prospect hips, silver slots and pleasure dicks, in number prey upon the Soho Bureau, swine and design in the West End Soup Bowl. The perfume of pleasure, burgers, beer, sweets, ale, kebabs, grease, and a Durex rut. Apparel our beauty, in the tail of a cab or the Hot Romp Hotel. Home, please, buddy. Shoe repairs and his express eye hooking for his takeaway lady. The capital whistles butterfly traffic. A just love me so. Boring play, for his girl is music, the real love game. In a neon trap for the 55th year, the temptation to quit the razzle-dazzle night and play the day is great. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. Hey Joe, no way. Ah, London. Rant, rant, rant. Okay, rest, 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 and rant, rant, rant.
So, next up, I would like to introduce you to a friend of mine. Oh God, that's me. Well, that could be several people sitting in this front room. Someone who has performed here before as a spoken word artist. This young lady is a young lady. Sorry to call you that. That's weird, isn't it? Sorry, I've gone on, but never. Oh, it's me. It could be you, Asha. You're a young lady as well. Mackay Smith is a performance poet. She also is an actress who uses her voice a lot and does audio books and things like that. She's an incredibly talented person. I'm absolutely delighted that she's here today. This is her second time performing at our spoken word event. Can you put your hands together, please, for Megan?
Hey!
Yeah. Do you want this on those stand or what? Yeah. Young lady. Thank you. Sorry for calling you young lady. Where that came from.
Do you know, I went to a Catholic school in the northeast of England, and if one of our teachers had have said pleasure dicks, they would have shut the school down. So I just loved that, because I was like, oh my God, your teachers can swear in front of you. I feel very, very naive about the whole thing. So I was loving that. Brilliant. Yeah, as Katie said, my name is Megan. I'm going to try and do this in a very, It's been a while since I've been on stage now. I've forgotten. How can I get this up?
Tech support.
Tech support, please. Exactly. I want to use the little Westlife stool in a bit, but I'm going to do this for now. Great, yeah. Yeah, is that, yeah. Awesome. So yeah, Kitch was bouncing around the whole stage, and I've got a little 90s boy band stool, which I'm going to use. As I think Joey said, it can be quite hard to choose what poem you're going to do. Moods kind of fluctuate, right? And I was in a really great mood today, and I've got this poem about being really angry, because I'm a bit of a rager. And on the way here, I was like, when I do it, it's, I don't want to invoke that sort of negative vibe. And then 3 people cut me off on the way here, and I was like, I'm fucking raging. You better believe I'm going to open with this poem. So has everybody watched, does everybody know of The Sound of Music and they're my favourite things? Okay, cool. So this is just a little take on that, and it's called just a few of the things that I hate, okay? So we're going to roll with that. Okay. Marks on clean walls, pillows with lumps, waiting for food and then burning your tongue. Mispronouncing somebody's name are just a few of the things that I hate. Blunt knives, fish bones, cutting butternut squash. The one thing you want to wear that's still in the wash. Flat drinks, paper cuts, putting takeaways on plates are just a few of the things that I hate. Suits without socks and gender reveals, and men who power pose when they're closing a deal. Watery leftovers and invoices paid late are definitely some of the things that I hate. When you finally go out with that person you like and you're hydrated and glowing after a few early nights, And you've worn clothes that you hate for a good solid week to keep options open and make sure you look chic. And then he arrives in a mustard-stained hoodie to your date, and now butterflies in your stomach just start to deflate. Yeah, add that to the list of the things that I hate. Overripe bananas, when people spit, endlessly sickening she said yes pics. When you think it's chocolate and it's actually fruitcake, has to be one of the things that I hate. You know out there. That layer of scum on top of your tea and being put on hold and asked to press 3. Long internet forms that refresh and don't save are up there on the list of things that I hate. When you finally try yoga to undo your knots, and you pay out the arse for a class somewhere posh. To be held up at work and arrive 2 minutes past, and that zen bitch on reception won't let you past. Your energy will interrupt the peace of this class. Do I look like someone who needs to relax? Yeah, I'm perfectly calm. A scream in a face. What I find helpful is taking the time to meditate. And being told to chill out when you're fucking irate has to be top of the list of the things that I hate. I love that out of all of them, the chocolate cake and the fruit thing is the thing that pissed people off the most. Oh, the disappointment! Do you know what I mean? Absolutely hideous. Okay, go on then, shout out some more things that you hate. Go on, lay it on me. Who's that
Nan's biscuit tin that's got pens in it.
Yeah. That's a great one. Nan's biscuit tin that's got pens in it. That is a really... Yeah, when you open up Quality Street and it's sewing stuff in there. Oh my God. Okay. She's never gonna... What was it? I can't... Do you know what?
Pineapple on pizza, she said.
Pineapple on pizza. I'm just gonna hang around at the end and we can all just have a rage together. I feel like I've started something and it's beautiful. I'm gonna sit down and use this beautiful little stool because I'm definitely a sitting down person. And just so you don't think I'm a mad rager, I'm just going to take the tone down a little bit and do something a little bit more personal. Has anybody got a man, I mean you said men straight away, so, but has anyone got a man in their life who is, this is a poem about a very specific breed of man, of which my dad is one of them. And it's somebody who's so deep and has so many kind things in them, but just cannot say it out loud. They'd rather die. Yeah, you know what I mean? They'd absolutely rather die than give a compliment. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So this poem is about that breed of man, and actually, it was I was lucky enough to perform it on BBC Radio London. And my dad heard it, and then he called me after and he went, "What did you write a poem about me for?" Which I thought was just the epitome of what the piece was about. He's a very stoic northern man. So this piece is called The Baikal Men. These soft punch, rough caress, the shame. Do you know what else pisses me off? No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. I was about to get so deep with you, and then, no. We'll start again. These soft punch, rough caress, careful calloused, warm-handed, awkward shoulder padding men, whose sobs arrive on boyish wobbling lips and wounded chest heaves after long dry years of hush, men, who worry loudly into night's gentle hold and are silent by morning. These pie on china plate, most honest during the adverts, men, who carry a rhyming poem in the breast pocket of their good suits and have no bookshelves in their houses, but all the things you need. The men we love us in winter tyres, attached 3 days before snowfall, and a full can of de-icer tucked in the back seat. In lectures on oil and flats, so we can't be taken advantage of, and lessons in breaking the fingers of those who try to. In back braces quietly tucked under t-shirts while moving our shelves and never making us take a taxi. In cut-out newspaper articles of our small triumphs hidden in old tins under their socks, and proud words said only to the neighbours. We could not say they didn't say I love you. These men we love us furiously, practically, but not in poetry. Thank you. Halfway through, guys, and then we can talk about what this is as well. Does anyone worry about stuff that might never happen, but you just go there anyway? Yeah. And who knew ample time to think in the pandemic didn't mean that I was productive. It just meant I worried about my parents dying a lot more, which was great fun, wasn't it? And just loads of other stuff, right? Because everybody keeps saying it's dark times, there's a lot to worry about. Excuse me, I think I've never been in public, I've just got such a dry mouth. And I started to think about all the things which I worry about, basically, all the things which might never happen that I think about. And this poem's about that. And happy. And it's called Preempting. Okay? It's in 3 parts as well, which is probably worth mentioning. So we're going to open that up. 1. You write your best friend's eulogy when you're both 15, and she's not dying, you're just prepared and keen to avoid the tired old, you don't know what you've got till it's gone, so you take regular stock. Unless you know something's value, how can you calculate its loss? You never grew out of being the weeping kid on the school bus, forehead against glass, ears full of sad, thinking of their family dying, as if death heard you'd left the house this morning. You'd be a weak orphan. So you sneak in every night to check on their rise and fall and hope that other kids are this weird. You lie awake waiting for 2 a.m. phone calls to cut through dark, like the next dog bark when you're trying to sleep, or the next cough that retunes the symphony. Every missed call is a tragedy, and every voicemail an epitaph. Every conversation now ends with a desperate, I love you. You'd hate to lament in their pre-prepared eulogy that your last words exchanged were the praline chocolate, or praline, just now with raisins. So you follow the 10 commandments. Never go to bed angry. You keep 10 years worth of cards bulging out of cardboard boxes under your childhood bed, as one day the strange cross through their letter Z will be the only place to find them. You keep an inhaler and mini first aid kit in the same handbag pocket most women keep their lipstick. Your mom often kisses your forehead and tells you, it must be exhausting in there. Yeah? Like trying to catch a waterfall and keep each drop safe. 2. You map out pain routes through the city, cross where they'll ruin once it's over. You anticipate having to find a new cinema and hope they'll let you keep the bakery close to your house. You see so many t-shirts marked with their city and think it's cruel of the world to set up its headquarters in their hometown. You write lists of how you'll reintroduce yourself to society, which include pottery, book clubs, yoga, get really toned, and here's all the ways I'll be fine alone. Robbie Williams' Feel is starting to feel like poetry, and the flowers on the table feel like a funeral bouquet sent early. Number 3. You put happiness on ration. Brown paper package it, tie it with string. Too many favourite things now mean there's sure to be a drought soon, so you take a slice for an hour one afternoon, a crumb in the mornings that you can't get out of bed, a dusting at night to help you sleep, maybe a small chunk on the weekend. The Catholic guilt still allows you Sundays. But you seal up the rest so you don't crumble and starve some sad September. Jar it up and spread it out to last a little while longer, since worst case scenarios are your bread and butter. You're sure you've gotten off too easy and wait for something to fall. You wait for sadness to kick down the door and take the things you were just learning to appreciate, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. Thank you. One more. Okay, so this one, if anybody's heard, there's a really great Russian poet called Elia Kaminsky, and he's got this collection where it's like a play, and basically it's about a town that pretends to be deaf after a soldier shoots one of the young boys in the town, yeah? And he has this poem called In a Time of Peace, which is great, and good artists steal, apparently, so I nicked the title, so thank you very much, Elia Kaminsky. And this is called In a Time of Peace. In a time of peace, there was no war we could name. A nation fragmented its enemies into smaller ones, unable to name an entire country. Hate once shared became insulated, cracked and swelled after overheating like cement pavement somewhere hot. We shouted at cashiers, kicked the side of cars, stole people to harm them, unsure of what to do with all this peace. In this time of peace, we riot, furious with this part freedom. We do not carry our clothes to air shelters or ration. This time of peace is plentiful. We have just enough to throw away. Our grandparents describe war as the good old days, and comedians describe this time of peace as the dark times. I asked a military man on leave, kicked back in a deck chair, what he does with his days when there's no war to fight, unemployed by a peaceful state. He replies, I wait for it. There we go. Okay, so I'm also aware, right, that I've just ended on an absolute downer, which is just not the best way to finish on. So this is not a poem. It's this really embarrassing little list that I keep in the back of any journal I'm writing in, and I call it class stuff. So poetic, I know. And it's basically things which, in complete opposition to all the stuff that makes me rage, this is just stuff that I think is really good. So I'm just going to read out a few that are probably hopefully not that embarrassing, and then just try and leave on a bit of a high, because that was such a downer. So class stuff includes, for me, long train rides and car rides, long train journeys and car rides, getting a booth when you go in somewhere, lakes, the way that cows' tails swish, which is a really good one, getting a new magazine in the post, picking someone you love up from the airport, finding chocolate that you thought you'd finished is a personal favourite, a sneaky burger in the car when you're finally alone, when Elliot, who's my 4-year-old nephew, asks to call me to tell me about a digger that he saw, foreign supermarkets, and having someone to call when you get good news, I think are all really nice things. So we can talk about that afterwards as well. But thanks so much. And on a last note, this still is, as I said, I went to a really conservative Catholic comprehensive school in the Northeast, and the only lessons which you could have were science and maths, and everything else was a waste of time. So to see how much talent is being nurtured here and has come out of here and is in the room, and how many amazing members of staff that you have who encourage your creativity is amazing, and you're very lucky, and thank you so much for having me. Thank you very much.
Can you bring it up for Megan, please? Thank you. I'm delighted to tell you that Megan and I are taking Mouth Off on tour. We're going to perform together at a venue in South Wales in a couple of months. So we're going to do more of this. It's going to be very exciting. We have 2 more acts for you this evening. We're thinking we're going to be finished by 8:30, for those of you who are wondering. The next person I would like to introduce you to the stage is a young man that I met for the first time today. His name is Marvellous, which I think is the best name ever. But his handle is Marv, I believe. Am I right, Marv? Am I getting this right? Also known as Marvel. He's currently studying at Central School of Speech and Drama. He's an ex-student from here, He is the class of 2015, am I right, Marv?
That is correct.
My spot on, amazing, see? Class of 2015, Marv is doing all sorts of exciting things, including TV appearances and lots of stuff to do with poetry and performance. And I'm not going to say any more, I'm going to let him speak for himself. Can you please put your hands together for Marv? Come on, Marv.
Can I even get myself together? Well done, everyone. It's good. I can't hear this left ear in my left ear for some reason. It's weird. But my name is Marvellous. I'm at my third year at Royal Central School of Speech and Drama studying acting. It's mad. But yeah, let's get into it. Yeah? Yeah, the first one. Yeah. Yeah, with the music. Alright, cool. Alright. You ready? Yeah, the music starts with. Thank you. Cheap luxuries. In a moment of red grapes and frozen pizza, the times I enjoy my luxury but cheaper. I'm a student, away from home with bare bills to pay, laid on my bed listening to Yeba's stand on replay, the projector projecting a video of sunsets. I asked Alexa to turn the lights orange, allowing my room to become an escape to a beach somewhere nice, somewhere far from a room and its godforsaken weather in October. My skin imagines the illuminating heat and the temperature like embers. My soul is belly full from eating a full course of breakfast, washed down with a yellow carton of Vita Lemon tea. Finished it, ripped the carton open and gave it to a tea leaf reader so she could tell me what fortunes were in store for me. The universe is coming with a bonus, she tells me, whispering in my ear that we gon' go clear, go clear, go clear. My intuition replies without speaking, saying, we've been knowing and we ain't scared. All whilst biting through the pizza I bought in aisle number 9. They had a 2-for-1 offer, but I only wanted one and I'll be fine. On the days that I am out of pocket, I have been summoning a mirage of food with lobster. This is called vision, but we'll touch on that later. Who said, imagining wouldn't bring you peas, bruv? Just watch, mum. You're gonna see me in your movies and your TV screens. I mean, it's already happened, but the royalties are gonna be crazy. Just watch and see. I leveled up from repeating the notion of saying I'm going to make it out from ends with the sound of my siblings' stomachs groaning like a melancholy choir singing in cannons. But I don't worry about that anymore. Sis, you're gonna get that bag you wanted from Selfridges soon. Mama, we will clear a mortgage before you turn 60. Little bro, get a first at uni and pass your test. We're going to the Benz dealership. Dad, we can speak about buying land in Nige. Focus on us first. Vision, yeah, this type beat. All of this whilst being happy, not having much to work with, but working with the little much that I have. Then again, I'm working class in Nigerian soul. I know how to bend down on my knees and cut the grass with a cutlass. Listen, all these cheap luxuries are gonna be pounds of dollars soon. Hopefully I won't go carry last in $1 million race to the moon. The moon, the moon. Jealous people will, with arms akimbo, seeing the rocket blast off. whilst internally realizing they shouldn't have laughed when I had the blueprint in hand, without no funding or steel. Miracles enough to make the boastful kneel or prostrate for forgiveness. But in this reality, in this existence, I'm going to eat this pizza and these grapes and sip this Vita lemon tea in peace, knowing that these cheap luxuries can come and go in an instant. One thing's for certain, the most valuable luxury we all have is this life. And it matters because it's expensively free. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Wow. Alright, cool. Yeah, my name is Marv. Apparently at this part I've decided to, talk in between segments. So yeah, my name is Marv. I left here in 2015, got into drama school the same year, but I didn't want to go to that drama school anyways. And I hustled ever since then. And then as of 2019, I got into the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama. I also run my own agency for models and talent. I dance, act, sing, poet, and write plays as well. I've also been seen on Channel 4 for living with old people and performing poetry. Right, next one, yeah? Cool. So this one, we haven't previously discussed this with Tyler. Shout out to Tyler, big man. I used to go to college with him. But yeah, this next one is a performed one. This one is I'm going to perform this one, and the next one I'm going to read it. Is that okay? Okay, cool. Yeah. We rented chaos in a council estate and we're still living in it. Mum said, I guess the consequence of knowing too much results in this. Renting in a 2-bedroom flat with 3 kids. This is not a luxury. We are not here because it is safe. There's always been a form of chaos in this estate when the pots and pans are scattered on the bedroom floor and our underwear on the stove. Tell me how well you like your dignity done for us to feel righteous, whole and self-loathe. Isn't it random how living okay can be out of my control? Destruction dances with my siblings spinning like ballerinas in a synchronized mode. Blood spilt on the perimeter we call home. This is to let death know this is a no-go zone. We still see light in the darkness when there's no money for gas. We still say grace when the food is trash. I ended our prayers about the Father or the Holy Ghost because he was never here. We waited for him for years. He was a no-show. I wake up early to work in the city at past. It is difficult to be bilingual in a life where your life as working class stops, stepping back in ends, where the dead black boys last lay before a knife wound carved a tombstone and a grave. In the night time, you can see demons in hoods, cycling away, and even on e-scooters now these days. They look like me and you, but most of them lot would be afraid. Shaking my head. No. Why should I have to live like a slave? Why should I have to live like a slave? I asked a middle-class white man as he told me how gentrification would pave the way. Shaking my head, because he could not relate. Word. To renting chaos in a council estate. Thanks. One more. Yeah, sure. So this one is called, my iPad doesn't want to work. This one is called Hoodlum. This is called Inner City Meaning. I hope you can relate. Hood meaning inner city, sorry. So, hood meaning inner city, meaning hoodlum, meaning lower class, meaning any class that isn't middle class, meaning by any means necessary, meaning drug culture, meaning drill music, poverty and paranoia, meaning bicycles that transform into electric scooters, The same way Autobot can turn Decepticon, meaning fuck and up on their deception, meaning making shit happen, meaning fuck it. This is how us man are gonna pattern, meaning black boys in our communities turn into deities when they die, meaning fist greeting, man them whistling for cats, being wary where they roam anytime past 9, meaning the creation of entrepreneurial wealth in the single parent homes, meaning the motivation of a child to jug on roll when the gas and electricity goes, meaning Starbucks move in and a signal that my ends will gentrify. Hood, meaning Yob, Chav, Burberry, Black, Asbo, delinquent, gang member, as the media would describe, meaning aspiring to make it in ends as well as out, meaning calling bro up, whether he's locked up in the pen or locked up in a mental drought, meaning unemployment, empty stomachs and food banks with a loss of pride taken in, meaning I swear on my mum's life I'm gonna make it big, meaning there's got to be more than living in ends. Meaning, even if you blow up, you should never forget your friends. Meaning, hood. Meaning the hood. Meaning nothing else. Meaning inner city. Meaning erasure. No. Cool. Thank you. I have been. Thank you so much.
Big cheer, please, for Marv. Thank you. It's brilliant to have you back at LSE, Marv. Thank you. I'm sorry we haven't got time for more, but we're under really, really strict guidelines to be out by 8:30. So, our final act for this evening is a person I can only describe as sunshine personified. I used to work with this lady at New Vic College. This is Asha Hoyles. She's amazing. Can you please put your hands together for Asha?
Before I begin, I just want to thank Katie and Leighton Sixth Form College for inviting me here this evening. I really feel like it's a privilege. I'm not going to lie, it's been 2 years since I've done any performance poetry, and it's really wonderful to be in this venue. I thought I understood the love of theatre and the creative arts until they locked us down, okay? Now I really can genuinely say I love it, and just being in a space today, hearing people doing what I've been trying to do, basically to keep my head above water, to have that blessing, to have that gift of the creative arts, to keep our mental health is so important. So I really want to thank all of you today for giving me such a really uplifting start to the evening. Thank you. The first poem I'd like to do for you this evening is a poem called Early COVID Moves. And I called it that simply because, to me, it was the kind of how I saw things happening. When I first heard of COVID, to be honest, I wasn't taking it really too seriously. And you were seeing all the little TikTok moves and things like that, and it just reminded me of my days of raving. And then it kind of got a bit serious, and there we go. So early COVID moves. First, it was the kissing of both cheeks. Then it was the kissing of no cheeks, we're using elbows and feet. It came in like a groove, like a new dance move. The kind of move you'd watch your sister or your brethren do. You'd look at the move and say, why? That the move looks cool. Then in a blink of an eye, there's an eerie change to the mood when them start talk about social distancing, self-isolating, and the 2-meter rule. When them close down universities, colleges, and schools, when you look inside the supermarket don't got no food. It's like the people them are prepared for they under siege, for they're fighting over the toilet paper, they're fighting over the food. For if them going there under siege, them must have to eat. But while them are prepared for they under siege, them nasty degreeders, them wipe the shelves clean. First, it was the kissing of both cheeks. Then it was the kissing of no cheeks, we're using elbows and feet. It came in like a groove, like a new dance move. The kind of move you'd watch your sister or your brethren do. You'd look on the move and say, why? That the move looks cool. Thank you. We've been talking about this evening. I cannot big it up enough. Your mental health. Give thanks for the creative arts. Give thanks for theatre. It has been keeping our heads above water. If I don't do nothing for you this evening, please, a message out to all of you. Love your mental health. Take care of your mental health, okay? Woo! This one is called Mental Health, is mental wealth. Take care of your mental health. See it as your mental wealth. Don't let people creep up beside you, and before you know yourself, they might control your life by stealth. Me nah go suppress this underground. It nah go gather dust again pan no shelf. There are subtle ways in life, learn you got to take care of yourself. So if it's no, it's no. If it's yes, it's yes. And if there's a change in the program, you shouldn't be afraid to take it off your chest. If a friend is a friend, then everything is blessed. But if them start to go on funny, you're sorry to lose that friend. I beg you, please, take care of your mental health. See it as your mental wealth. Don't let people creep up beside you, and before you know yourself, they might control your life by stealth. Till one day, without question, you just wake and catch yourself. Your aim was to please like you don't feel at ease. You're low in self-confidence, low in self-esteem. You're not even sure if what you're saying is exactly what you mean, because in your own judgment now, you do not believe. I beg you, please, take care of your mental health. See it as your mental wealth. Don't let people creep up beside you, and before you know yourself, they might control your life by stealth. Till you can't think or feel for you. Thank you. COVID's been doing for me, for the creativity, you understand? And I give thanks for that, because it's been terrible. There's no cutting to the chase, it's been crap. But within crap can come some blessing, can come some goodness, you know. We saw that here already this evening. Now, but if you'd like me to, if I can have this liberty, I'd like to do two things before I do this next point. The first thing I'd like to do is mention a wonderful, wonderful woman who unfortunately has passed away. She's called Winterbreez. Yeah. Winterbreez is somebody I've had the privilege to perform with. She was the woman that gave me the courage to celebrate dialect, to celebrate my culture, to celebrate my background, to use the dialect, to use the way that I express myself to do my poetry. And I want to really give thanks to her for that. When I did my first book, I sent it to Jamaica. She sent back the feedback, and she said I should be doing what I'm doing now. And she particularly likes the poem Hair. So I would like to dedicate that poem for her today. Woo! And also, had it not been for Auntie Christine, who comes from Nevis, who's also passed away but stays with me in spirit, if not for her, the poem would not have existed in the first place. Because she was a single parent with her kids, and back in the day, not like now, you know, we had like, culturally, we were rich. And so when I was in the morning and my hair was all over the place, and my sister's not really studying me, and my mum's not studying me, man, me take up my comb and me go on with my grease to Auntie Christine. And this is where the poem Hair comes from. Thank you so much. There was afro, cane row, single plaits too, ring combs for bunches in ones and in twos. And for all the hairstyles that dep on display, me never did learn how to comb my hair. I run to my mommy. Mommy, please comb my hair. No, child, they combing and the plaiting, give me fingers them pain. Send me to my sister. My sister complain. You're my little sister, but you really need the pain. Why you don't learn then to comb your hair? Me back after her and say, you don't care. She kiss her teeth. And leave me here same way. So me take up the comb. Me take up the grease. I gone to Auntie Christine, for she lives in our street. She comes from Nevis. She's strict, but she's sweet. But she can plait my hair so very, very neat in all the latest hairstyles me just see out the street. So me brace up myself to ask her to do it because my timing wasn't good. So hear how she drop it. Come in, sit down. How is Dad and Mom? You come to comb your hair and it's now you just a come. What to the hairstyle I did give you last week? So much Still she cussing and she parting. She cussing and she plotting. She said I must keep me hand out of my head because my hair is not growing. And on the surface, me look sorry. But inside me heart me smiling, for she doing the pineapple style me like me going to look good in school this morning. Amongst the afro, the cane row, single plaits too, ring combs for bunches in ones and in twos. And I'm not gonna look silly, and I'm not gonna feel shame, and maybe one day I'll learn to comb my hair. Well, as you see, I haven't, I'm a bald-head, thank you. Now, I'm gonna get a bit serious on you now, people. Don't vacate the building too quick. Just hear me out, because I'm gonna keep saying it. Creativity is a gift. It's a place for channeling frustration and stresses. I'm really grateful that I have this art form called performance poetry in which to let out this particular point of view this evening. And I've called this poem Black Lives Matter. The Father give me one thing to do. He said, love one another as I have loved you. So the question me I ask, is that what we are do? With the food bank queue, the lack of love for the youths. Man a beat up and them a run to refuge. Look pan Grenfell Tower now and nothing can do. People holding power, them can't walk in our shoes. For some not got no choice, you see. Some not get to choose. The status of your skin is the reason you're abused. Some me not care which lord I screw. Me no want no platitudes. For George Floyd dead under Babylon boots, so them day in the city now a pull down statue. For George Floyd could have me, could George Floyd be you? That's what I said. One thing to do, love one another as I have loved you. So the question me I ask, is that what we are do when George Floyd dead under Babylon boot? After all that we done sacrifice, after what black skin's been through, you can dead like a dog in the broad daylight for all the public to view. You know, lose no sleep, you know, forget to eat. But what is law to you is death to me. But I am Arawak, I am maroon, I am the stone that the builder refused. Slavery don't equip me, boy, to deal with you. You fear me, but me no fear you. I ask is that what we are do when George Floyd dead on the Babylon boo. So me no care which lord I screw. Me no want no platitudes for George Floyd dead on the Babylon boot. So we dead in the city now a pull down statue for George Floyd could have me. Could George Floyd be you? Be you? Be you? Could George Floyd be you? Woo! It's only left for me to, if I could be allowed, I want to pick up everybody in this room. My last poem is basically called Public Sector Workers, guy. It take COVID-19 for them to notice public sector workers. Working for next to nothing, risking lives now to save us. Working without no PPE, working without no visors. No, they in the debate when they matter about chase and testers. Desensitized because you're used to erasing us. The virus put it so you got no choice now but to face us. Local shopkeepers, cashiers and shelf stackers, respected the cleaners, dustmen and road sweepers. Big up all the bus drivers, NHS workers, paramedics who do the early work before you reach the doctor. Hail up the social care workers, holding the hands of the ones who are dear to us. All the learning support practitioners, guidance from your teachers, big up all the you workers, your welfare officer, the listening ear from the counselor. Because it take COVID-19 for them to notice public sector workers, working for next to nothing, risking lives now to save us. Working without no PPE, working without no visors. No, they're in at the debate when they matter about chase and testers. Desensitized because they used to erasing us. The virus puts it so, you've got no choice now but to face us. We are your public sector workers. Thank you very much. My name is Asha Hoyles.
I don't even need to tell you to keep coming. Asha Hoyles. Right, you lovely lot. It's been great to see you all. I really hope you come and get involved a bit more, start writing, start sharing. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.